madness. I don't believe it from what I suffer. A disease would destroy my mind. But this was not that. My senses have never been so precise as to what I have done. Not in my past, nor my present breath. No madness of any sort, a disease that plagues the mind's depths. No, this is not what I had. I can tell you. I can tell you. All that I have done, with the precision of an accurate confession, as if you were with me for the entire calamity. Where to begin? The man, he had been the kindest soul, never a foul word, and never a grimace across his face. A friend for all that came and left, a friend to me no less, a kind man for all accounts. So many wonders why this calamity arose from the depths of the soul, an unquenched desire to put the light out. For you see, it wasn't the man. It wasn't him that rose this thirst. No, it was his damned eye, clouded from the streams of hell, white and gray with no chance of sight. Yet, it did not stare blindly through me as other eyes had. No, its clouded stare was a pupil of frost. I could see it, I could feel it, looking inside of me as if it could cut me open upon the cutting table. Yes. His eye, that was the problem. Just the one. His eyes what plagued me so. I knew it had to be done, but mercy, I had a speck of mercy. I was never kinder than in the day following, never nicer than I planned to rid him of this world of his wicked affliction. A smile, a kind word, a favor, a game. Never kinder to the old man I had long since called my friend. You see, I did not want to kill him. No. I did not want to kill him. He was my friend, a companion, one who had gifted me salvation from numerous past troubles. I wonder why I hadn't noticed that eye before. No matter, for each night I snuck upon his room, a torch lit by dim candlelight in my hand, the other bare from all except a knife. Small but sharp, a blade meant for cutting. I would stand there unmoving, watching him as he slept, his breath in and out, continuing the cycle. Watching him, I felt a dull flame slowly rise from my gut into an angry blaze, yet I could not bring myself to move. Forth with my plan. I couldn't, after all. It was not the old man who I despised, but that eye. But at this moment, the eye was gone, hidden by a thin lid of his eyelid. All that left was the kind old man who had helped me so. I couldn't go through it. I just couldn't. Maybe maybe somewhere else, up in this midnight dreary could I, but I shall not. So I left, and repeated night after night after night after night after night after night after night, again and again. It was the final night when the door had creaked. I had pulled it just an inch too far, and from it the noise rang, causing my friend to stir upon his sleep. I remained frozen in place, not a bead of sweat out of place. Afraid as if to make a sound would wake him fully. I stood there for what surely must have been hours. Had it been days? Yet the old man never went back to sleep. Soon he sat up. He spoke with a parched voice, a deep rumble. "Who's there?" He coughed. I hadn't noticed He hadn't noticed my presence. No, he couldn't see me. aligned to me as his cursed eye. I could feel it now, stronger, even though in the dark I could feel it against my skin, staring. Yet, I stayed still, never moving a muscle. Not until time had passed upon this dreary night, and had laid upon his bed once more, I felt my powers arise as I slowly crept further into the room, all silent as I walked over the floor, being sure not to make another creak. I was almost there, almost at a single bed upon he snored, almost there, but excitement had gotten the better of me as I misstepped, and with a loud squeak on the floor, his eyes shot open in blatant surprise. That eye, staring back at me. All I could see was the monster's eye, staring at me, mocking me for my previous nights of failure. If I ran over quickly, one frail swoop swooped down upon my friend's chest, blade torn in fabric, flesh all the same. If this was no dull blade, then again and again and again I repeated the movement until my friend gave his last gasp. His hands shaking, he had not a single moment to comprehend. Goodbye, old friend. It was only after a few moments passed that I had realized all that I had done. Was I of the monster's hand? No, I had destroyed it. I would not let these doubts vex me so. You still think me mad? I can see it on your face, a sly smile. But you won't think me so. You won't think me so when I tell you what happened after. With precision and sadness, I got rid of the marks I had made by creating another. First and foremost, before anything else, I removed the head to get rid of the affliction. Then what came next but his arms and legs, only with a few good chops. Blood, oh the blood, that won't do. Cloth and linen burnt or crisp in the fire. This won't do at all, flesh a slow burn. So I tore up the floorboards and put him inside, my old friend buried and taken away from his curse. I knew them up tight despite no cause for concern, my heart for one calm despite my actions. I took a deep breath, and upon the clock I saw it had passed midnight, and now it was morning of 4. That when I heard it, a knock on the door. I took a deep breath that hitched as I heard a sound. Thump, thump, thump. Underneath the floorboard. A knocking? No, a thumping. A beating of the heart. I remained silent as I opened the door. Surely it was my imagination. A hallucination of adrenaline. The officer at the door of 3 introduced himself as the police. A neighbor had heard a foul shriek and had called the police. I showed not a bewilderment on my face, but a dull stare. Other shock and rage ran through me. I hadn't even heard a sound. I told the men that my friend was not here, and they'd asked her to be let in to see. So I let them know that they would not find a speck, blade, or blood. I urged them to see for themselves he was not here. I called them all throughout the house, from the fire and burned to the old man's quarters. Seeing the officers' fatigue, I offered them a seat. We sat on chairs in his room, discussing the confusion, or so they had thought, for my manners had convinced them that not a thing was out of place. I convinced them so well, and I let out upon my lips a smirk, as they took it as a friendly smile, but soon stretched into a grimace, as that's when I heard it again, the sound, thump, thump, thump under my chair and through the boards, a heartbeat as strong as a runner, thump, thump, thump. That's when I felt it, the eyes tear upon my skin. Thump, thump, thump. It was getting louder. Could they hear it? I coughed, claiming a frog in my throat for my awkward behavior. Thump, thump, thump. I looked at the officers with a false smile. Thump, thump, thump. Couldn't they hear it? They have to be hearing it. Thump, thump, thump. No, 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 no. The sound pained a headache as it rang in my mind. The sound no longer under the floorboards, but right behind me. I jumped up from my chair and looked behind, startling the officers. "Shut up!" I screamed, collapsing my hands upon my ears, trying to block out the sound to no avail. "Shut up! Shut up!" Again, I shouted as the officers stood up and surrounded me. Thump, 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 thump. I grabbed one of them by the collar, much to his surprise. "Do you hear it? Do you hear it?" He looked at me with confusion, a mocking display. "You hear it, don't you? The sounds of thumping in my head under the boards, check under the boards." And so they did, but all they found not a heart in the floorboards but the old man's body, now being eaten by mice. "No, no," I shouted, tears beginning to whelm. "This can't be true, for it's still here. It's the heart beating in the walls." "Do you hear it?" "I know you do. You hear it too.